Hi, my name is Brandon Dozier. I do apologize, this is a little bit of background audio. My laptop's fan is a little loud. I don't think it should be too bad though. But basically, I'm gonna show you a little demo of a project I've been working on the past few months. This is my prototype portfolio website. Now, I should say that this is a portfolio. This is a prototype. This is not a perfect program. This is not necessarily a completed project, and it's not going to be the final version of my project. This is mainly just to show what I've learned, and it's basically a learning tool for me for when I do make a final version of this website that I will want to publish. But this is, for now, it's basically just to show what I've learned. Let's get started. I actually want to start off with the SQL database a bit. This is basically the main design. The user ID is a primary key clustered, just to give each row a little unique identifier. And this is a query I have where I created the table, where I created the columns and stuff. And this here is actually the SQL procedure I have executed for authentication purposes. Now, if you're wondering what login name is, that's just a security thing I have to make sure that basically the login name has to match username in order for you to log in. And status and is approved work kind of the same way, but like in terms of like approving an account, when you make it a new account, it's approved by default, but like say in the user dashboard, which I only have access by one user I have hard coded in for now. I'm able to edit status and it is approved so that I can prevent an account from being able to log in. That's basically the main idea of these two. I will simplify that later. Now I want to show a little bit of my API. I have a login controller, although it's mainly the main controller of the API. I have two post methods, one for user login, and the other one, create contact, is for registering a new user. I have a get method that's called fetch data. This is for returning the data from the table to the front end. Excuse me. The delete method is to delete a row from the table, and this is where the primary key is handy because I search it by the primary key user ID, so that I'm selecting one row specifically to delete. This put method serves two purposes. It will either update the information of an already existing user, just in case I say edited the email of a user, or if I've added a user, it will add the user into the database. This is the login model. I have a login class for logging in. Registration is basically an instance of a database row or employee master, while the database itself is within employee entities, because basically I have the SQL database accessed here as an entity framework. Now I have a class row here that stores similar information to registration. The main difference is I use row for deleting a row, updating a row, and adding a row, while registering a new user is what I use registration for. Now responses is mainly just to show or tell the Angular front end that it has logged in or it has not logged in. Like, let's say I put in invalid credentials. When it relays back to the front end that I am not logged in, it will display a message saying invalid user. That's the idea of that. Okay. Now, unfortunately, OBS shows the page frozen, even though it's not frozen for me. For some reason, for Visual Studio Code, it's freezing at one frame, but not for the others. But basically the gist is this is my Angular front end. This is where I have the components for my pages, for login and registration pages as well. I have a component for the navigation bar, because while I could just have a nav item in the app component, since that would have been universal. Yeah, having the nav bar as its own component allowed me to customize it some more, like decide which page could have the nav bar. And this is particularly useful for like logging in. Like how I have it is if you try to access, say, the home page or about me page without having logged in, it will send you right back to the login page. Basically, the having the nav bar as its own little component makes that easier to handle. Especially since I implemented Bootstrap into the nav bar, but we'll get to that in a bit. Along with the components, I also have some services like, while I do have a login component, I have that component refer to a login service that actually sends the request to the API to log in, to try to log in, using the information from the login page's form. I also have an authentication service, but that's mainly just for the front end, just to have something in the session storage to say that I'm logged in. I'll replace that with cookies in the near future, but for now, since this is just a learning tool, I have that as session storage. And I also have a fetch user service that's for requesting the database data from the API and bringing it to the dashboard, which again can only be accessed by one account I have hard-coded. And let me see if there's anything else. I also have a service for the navigation bar, which basically I mainly use it to control whether or not it will display the dashboard link. Because again, I only want that one account to access the dashboard. So having that in the service helps control that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show the website now. Okay, I have the Angular front end compiled now with the API running. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up the website. Now I know I said before I had to use Wi-Fi for this, but I didn't know localhost was from the machine rather than online, so I do apologize for not showing the demo of this before, but basically for right now, I'm gonna just put in invalid user information. This is the register page. I'm gonna turn. And as you can, while I still have it as plain text, I do have it where the password is hidden as you type it. No, since it's just a learning tool, I do not have a service yet to verify the email. But again, this is just a learning tool. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually log in, and look at that. Now this is my page. This is my skill set, a little about me. I have it as like a little table just to keep it neat. This is the dashboard, which again can only be accessed by that one account. As you can see, our new user has been put into it as well. I have a little link here just to show my resume. This is not my most up-to-date resume, but that's a simple fix. Now I'm actually gonna demonstrate something here. I'm gonna reload just to show you something. Now as you can see, even though I hit delete on that, selected, it's still there. Just because I haven't saved any changes yet. So let's try that. Ta-da! Now I actually want to add a new user now, so I'm gonna call this Frankie. Let's have more creative. And just to show that these are editable. Now, while that does say no, that's just because I haven't saved the change yet. Now let's go save that change. Ta-da! And it even says yes now. Now let's say I try to save empty though. Oh. Well, it's not going to add that. And I have a little quick filter here too, which is just to search for anything in these columns. Now I'm actually going to show a little bit of what I mean by the bootstrap. As you can see here, I have a handlebar and it's aligned vertically. And it collapses whenever you go to a page. Like it. And if you're wondering what I'm doing with the selecting thing here, since it doesn't show the menu, I basically selected what type of device it's simulating, just to show how I have Bootstrap working here. And as you can see here, this is another example of Bootstrap because I have these as separate columns, so that, and they take up certain amount of column space depending on how big the screen is. Now this format, it seems a little like not using the screen much, but I mainly use, mainly this is good for like, so this is mainly good for, well, let's go ahead and switch to a different page. And as an example, with a screen this small, I have these stacked together instead of what they were before. And using column space also just allows me to align these how I want. And for what in the way that is appropriate to each type of machine. Now I'm actually gonna log out here and try logging into a different user. Well, actually, let me just look at what the users are just so I remember. And as you can see, no dashboard. We're gonna even try to see if we can access the dashboard inside it, in spite of not even being the designated manager. And as you can see, you cannot access it. However, the manager can. Ta-da! Anyway, that's my website. I hope to continue to improve upon it in the near future, and I hope to build upon it. And I hope you enjoyed this little demo, and have a good day or good night, depending on when you're watching this.